Gemini ascendants. This video is for you if your moon is in Gemini, or if you have a cluster of planets, like 3 or 4 planets conjunct in the sign of Gemini. You can watch this video. So let's see what the Mercury transit has in store for you. Well, Mercury is your Lagna Lord, so you must pay attention to the Mercury transit. However, Mercury transits every couple of weeks, which is what makes the Gemini and the Virgo ascendants very hands-on, very, very intelligent, and always wanting to do something, do new things, very active people. So the reason I'm making this video, because this particular transit is a very different transit. Mercury goes to your second house in the sign of Cancer, and it stays there for a while, right? Mercury spends just 2 or 2.5 weeks in every sign, but it is going to go retrograde in your second house in the sign of Cancer, and it doesn't like being in the sign of Cancer. It considers moon as its enemy. So we need to see what can this cause. So let's look at it. Second house is your house of family and your accumulated wealth, your savings. One of your main money houses is seen from the second house. Your speech, how you talk, is seen from the second house. So Gemini ascendants, most Gemini ascendants usually are very social people. They like communicating, they like talking. Some of them have a great sense of humor. Some of the best stand-up comedians have a very powerful Gemini energy in their charts. So let's see. So Mercury, your Lagna Lord. So especially if you're going through Mercury Mahadasha, or if you're going through Moon Mahadasha, or Antardasha, even Saturn Mahadasha, you should watch this video, because Saturn is transiting trine from it, and it'll go into Pushya Nakshatra, which is, the Lord is Saturn. So second house, this is not a very good transit for you. So you need to watch out the way you communicate. All right. And I'll tell you the reason why. It's because Mercury is, Mercury signifies intelligence, which is why I've said in most of my videos that Virgo ascendants and Gemini ascendants, and even the moons, are usually very, very intelligent if their Mercury is well placed. For example, if your Mercury is also in the sign of Gemini, all right, it's very, very well placed there. So those people are very intelligent people, and which is why they're very spontaneous with their communication style. They could be extremely quick-witted. All right. Cancer is the sign of emotions. It's the sign of nurturing people. It's the sign of service for other human beings or animals, other living beings. Okay. It's the sign of looking after someone. Your emotions are seen from Cancer. So Mercury going there it's a great time for you to reconnect with your family and your loved ones. If there is something that you've been wanting to talk to your family about, this is a good time to communicate with them. But make sure that you communicate it in a very nice, logical and emotional way. I know it's a contrast, because emotions and logic cannot be together, right? You can't put a number to how much you love someone, right? You can't have a scale of 0, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you love me? All right. So the negatives, especially if you have Mars in your second house in the sign of Cancer, or if you have planets like Rahu, or even Sun to some extent, malefic planets, if you have in the second house, or if you have Saturn in the second house. All right, these are malefic planets. Watch out for what and how you communicate with your family. Okay, and also it's not a very good time to splurge money. See, second house is the house of your savings. So if you're looking at making some investments right now, this is probably not a good time, especially during the time of Mercury going retrograde, which is July 18th to August 11th. So mark that particular this particular date for you. And during that time, Sun is also going to be there, and Sun is not your most, although Sun is a friend of Mercury, it will form a Buddhaditya Yog. Okay, Sun governs your third house. So during those Mercury retrograde dates, you could plan a trip. You could plan a short distance trip and go enjoy the monsoons. The ones, especially the ones who are in India, because I think the monsoons will be really kicking in during that time. Great time to reconnect with your younger sibling, especially if you had issues with them. But again, how you communicate with them is of primary importance, right? So if the results are malefic, then people could have an emotional outburst during this particular time. Remember, Mars and Ketu are already in the sign of Leo. Okay, so you need to again be very careful on how you communicate. All right, especially when Mercury goes to Pushya Nakshatra, which will happen on June 22nd, and then it goes to Ashlesha on June 7th, and then again, when it goes retrograde on July 18th, it again comes back to Pushya Nakshatra. So if you have any planets in Pushya Nakshatra, the events will get triggered, and we'll have to see the placement of moon in your chart to see, and we have to look at the placement of Saturn, and the results will be according to that, good or bad. We'll have to see. It could trigger certain events to do, especially with your career. Okay, if your Saturn is well placed, you could get an up move in career. If your Saturn is not very well placed, be very careful how you're responding to emails at work. Be extremely careful on how you are communicating with your colleagues, your boss especially. Okay, it could backfire if the communication is an emotional outburst. So if you have something to confront with your people at work, or even with your family member, give it some time. See, at times Geminis can be very impatient. Okay, they can be very impulsive because Mercury is fast moving, and when Mercury, see, your Lagna Lord is going retrograde. Although it's a friend of Saturn. See, the reason why I'm saying Saturn is going to be in Pushya Nakshatra. All right, and then it goes to Ashlesha, which is again governed by Mercury. So, but especially the time it is in Saturn. See, Saturn is transiting in your 10th house. So it will trigger something to do with your career, and it may trigger something to do at home as well. It could be a change of profession as well. Because from there, Mercury is looking at your 8th house of sudden changes in your life, about transformation. So it's a great time to reconnect with your family, rekindle those emotional bonds with your younger sibling, with your siblings, with your family member, with your spouse, and even with the in-laws, the ones that are married. Okay, I do not recommend any. If your Mercury is not well placed in your chart, I do not recommend signing any contracts, especially work related, or even buying a new property or buying new land during this particular time. But if your Mercury is well placed and your second house is very good, your moon is very powerful, your moon is exalted, you could look at gaining. I mean, this transit could really give you money incoming, because it will activate your second house of wealth. All right, and Mercury governs your 4th house, so people could get profit from selling property, selling land, selling vehicles. Right, it's transiting 11th from itself, so gain of land and property can be seen from that. All right. Right, we have to look at the natal chart. We have to see the conjunctions. We have to see how strong your chart is and what Mahadashas you're running in Antardashas, and the D1, the D9, and all the divisional charts. Right, so I hope I could give you some direction. Communication is the key. So watch how you speak. Second house is the house of speech, and Mercury signifies speech and communication. Alright, so if you have any experiences, mention in the comments so that the other Geminis can also benefit from it. I'm starting a beginner's Vedic astrology course, so if you wanted to learn astrology, or if you have a friend or family member that is interested, please get in touch with me on my team, and we'll be happy to get back to you. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you need a consultation, my information is right here. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.